I've waited far too long to say this. Good evening, wrestling fans! We are back. The Animated Wrestling League is set to return to your YouTube windows in January of 2022. But first, we have some news that will shatter everything the Animated Wrestling League has ever been. During the pandemic, the AWL lost a lot of money and was in pretty serious financial trouble. We were dedicated to making sure all of our full-time roster got paid, but with 0 yen in ticket sales for over a year, and the AWL, pretty much out of money. Fortunately, a lifeline came calling, and it's all thanks to our AWL Grand Champion, the most Canadian champion in the world, Kid Canada. Naturally, Kid Canada's impressive title reign, including somehow defeating Sombo no Yaiba in his 7th title defense in our last episode, AWL 360, has made national headlines in his home country of Canada. When it became known that the AWL was having money problems, a group of Canadian investors came to the rescue and saved the Animated Wrestling League. That means there will be a Season 19, and it will start as soon as possible. But with their money, there came some conditions. Our Canadian investors obviously expected return for their investment. It is their goal to improve the Canadian professional wrestling scene. For most of the last generation, the Great White North has produced some of the best wrestlers in the world, but really hasn't had a signature wrestling promotion since the days of Stampede Wrestling in Calgary. Well, that's going to change in January as the AWL expands to our new home on native land as part of the AWL, and yes, I have to say this, Brand Extension. That's right, we're splitting the AWL roster in two because as grateful as we are to Canada and the new opportunities granted to us, our home and our souls are in Japan. Beginning in 2022, the AWL will promote 2 co-equal programs. The first, remaining in Japan at the world-famous, AWL Arena, will be AWL Hontai. AWL Hontai will continue the numbering from the past 18 seasons, so their first episode will be AWL 361. Meanwhile, Canada will be home to AWL Strong and Free, a brand new show in a brand new arena to begin with episode 1. AWL Season 19 will contain 40 regular episodes, 20 of each show. The goal is 2 videos per week, 1 from Japan, 1 from Canada. Each video will be contained to roughly 20 minutes of tightly packed professional wrestling action. Since I know our videos do tend to go on a bit, I am really trying to improve this stuff. As for the championships, the AWL will not be making the same mistake WWE made. There is one AWL Grand Champion, and there always will be. In fact, the singles and tag team titles in the men's and women's divisions are hereby officially touring championships. Title holders will be free to float between both Japanese and Canadian divisions of the league. But a wrestling show needs a belt to fight over. Therefore, the AWL Intercontinental Championship is now exclusive to Japan and AWL Hontai. But what about AWL Strong and Free, you ask? Excellent question. Our Canadian investors have ponied up the money for a brand new championship belt that will be exclusive to AWL Strong and Free, the Animated Wrestling League Canadian National Championship, or CNC for short. It will follow the same rules as the IC title. 5 successful title defenses and you get an automatic shot at the Grand Championship. The first AWL Canadian National Champion will be decided in an 8-man tournament that will feature strongly in the first several episodes of AWL Strong and Free. And, oh yeah, tournaments. How could I forget? It's almost 2022, which means it's time for the biggest event of the AWL calendar. Say it with me, the Oshogatsu Taikai, the New Year's tournament, will be interbrand and will be the first step towards introducing you to the new AWL rosters. 7 wrestlers from AWL Hontai and 8 from AWL Strong and Free, with the last spot being reserved, as always, for a debuting wrestler. On a potentially dangerous note, going back to AWL 341, the start of Season 18, the Arab American Dream and Triple Crown champion Hassan is sticking to his word. If he does not win the New Year's tournament and become a Grand Slam champion this year, he will retire from the AWL. Last point on the New Year tournament, logistically, meaning that I don't actually have a working PS4 at the moment, but hopefully will before the end of the year, The tournament will not be posted on January 1st. However, it will still be the first show of the year. I want to say a big thank you to everyone who has stayed subscribed to the AWL while we've been away, and I'm going to go into more details on how we got to this position in a later video. Thank you very much. We will see you very, very soon for AWL Season 19. This is a brand new league. これから始めましょう。